I mean, look, they are part of this multi-year trend that everyone will get impacted by. And we have seen a few of these trends in the past 30 years, whether it's PCs or smartphones or cloud. And this one probably is as big or even bigger than that. So they were one of the early ones to capitalize on it. And when it comes to chip side, once you are established as the standard, it's very hard to displace that standard. And Nvidia GPUs are the standard when it comes to AI computing.
We're now, I guess, 3-4 years into this AI trend here. What do Nvidia shareholders need to hear today, Wednesday after the close?
I mean, the estimates should keep going up. That is what you need to sustain 40, 45 times earnings on a stock. And from that perspective, they have delivered good news for the past 8 to 10 quarters. It's been big beat and raises. And from a stock perspective, it's the gross margins, because that's what has come down. And they guided to gross margins going back up to mid 70%. That's what you want to hear.
I noticed that in the FA screen. So Apple is a shell game of there's going to be a new phone. And they've been doing this for well over a decade, 20 years, whatever. NVIDIA makes these things, GPUs, I'll call them as an amateur. And is it just understood they're just going to keep making them, that someday they're not obsolete, or they just slow down?
It's that Moore's Law all over again. What you saw with Intel in the past 30 years. In fact, NVIDIA has compressed those cycles where they launch a new GPU every year. Intel was doing it every 2 years.
It's legitimately superior.
That is superior in terms of compute, in terms of power performance. Everything that Intel did for the past 30 years with 2-year cycles, NVIDIA has compressed that to one. And that is why they're being so successful with the huge beat and raises that we're seeing.
I want to get your thoughts here. The U.S. government has taken nearly 10% stake in Intel. When you talk to investors, when you talk to folks in the tech space, how do they view that?
Well, it's too early, in terms of what it means for Intel as a company. But look, there are comparisons drawn to what the government did back in 2008 with the too big to fail banks. They gave them a cash injection. And so from that perspective, Intel doesn't really need the cash so much. It's just from a narrative perspective, the government is clearly behind bringing, semiconductor manufacturing onshore. And Intel is your largest company, so they need to revive that. The question is, can they get the orders from these large players, the fabless companies who can make their chips with Intel Foundry?